Hey ho, it's Marco Catania again. You're looking at another study aid, part of the series of study aids made for the students following the subject ITI 597, which is all about service management according to the ITIL framework, based upon version 3. In this short video, we're going to have a closer look at like the value slash benefits that come with the volume service design. Okay, on this slide you're looking at the service lifecycle model, and of course the little balloon blinking in the screen is service design. I sometimes refer to the service design volume as the safeguarding volume. What do I mean with that one? Well, a lot of organizations, a lot of IT organizations, they're making lots of promises, and in the end they can't really deliver. And service design is actually the safeguard. Service design, and if you do it properly, you will be able to deliver what you've promised to your customer. Because you've got the proper service level agreements in place. You do understand the availability requirements. You do understand whether or not, for example, the customer needs, for example, like something like an IT service continuity plan, like a disaster recovery plan in place. So these things are actually in place before you start to like build and test and implement. Well, the main output of service design is the so-called service design package, like the SDP, service design package, which is roughly a blueprint of what the new service is going to look like. So what's the value that comes out of this volume service design? Well, definitely a reduced total cost of ownership. Because you're properly like planning for procurement of resources, and you're properly planning for disposal, for example, of like old resources, it will be a lot cheaper for you. So you actually don't end up in like panic buying situations, and in situations you go like, hey, what am I going to do with the old mainframe? Because everything is properly planned for. Improved quality of service. Again, if you've got a proper agreed level of availability, and you've got like an agreed level of performance, you've agreed it with your customers, then of course, then from a customer's point of view, you're actually delivering something they need to do their business. And from their point of view, in their perception, in their world, they will typically see your service as like a higher quality service than, for example, a service that isn't available when they need it and that isn't as fast as they would like to see it. Also, it says like improved consistency of service. And I often say like, why do people go to McDonald's? Because McDonald's is so bloody consistent in the products and services they deliver. It says here, for example, if something goes wrong, we do have agreed levels of service restoration. We will restore your incident of a certain priority level within 45 minutes. And if you do that consistently, your customer will become happy. It says here maintenance within agreed time slots. That's again, that creates consistency. Yeah, you're not taking down the systems during like peak business hours. No, you're doing maintenance on your systems on like Sunday morning when no one actually uses those services. So it's all about creating value, and all that value comes from, if you do it properly, from the service design volume. Yeah, there's so much value that can be found in this service design volume. And for example, it says here easier rollout of new or changed services. It's all about like taking lessons learned. They say like repetition is the mother of all skills. You make a mistake once, you make a mistake the second time, but then never again. So if you build up, if you create all your templates along the way and you start to capitalize, well, at some stage you will be able to capitalize on all the collected knowledge and capabilities. That is really like something that you actively need to look at, like from a service design point of view. It says improved service alignment. True, and you can't just sit back and assume that like once the service is up and running that everything will be okay. So it's about like putting a whole bunch of like scrutiny on your own performance, on your own job. So it's regularly reviewing not only yourself but also your services and how you're delivering them towards your customers. So you really want to make quality a part of how you deliver your services. You don't want to inspect quality afterwards. No, you actually want to make it part of how you work. So you want to make sure that if you deliver a service, you also start to immediately like capture the appropriate metrics and as part of that service. So it says here more effective service performance, again capturing measurements from key areas, so you can actually also create the appropriate reports to the various stakeholders out there. And determining who those stakeholders actually are is then also part of service design. And not just, hey, we now deliver the service, who are we going to report to? No, that's already been decided. Typically, that's part of your service level agreements. If you sit around a table with your customer, that's where you agree, hey, customer, when and where and how are we going to provide all the reports to you? And it's never enough, isn't it? There's always more. It says here improved IT governance. And IT governance nowadays is like vitally important for any IT organization. Hey, you want to make sure you like reduce risk and actually like increase your return or maximize your return. You want to control the information and the information flows within your organization. And who's providing what type of reports to whom, and who's making what type of decisions, and who's got like what type of authority out there. We want to be in control. We want to know what's going on, because if we don't know what's going on, well, we can't improve. Okay. More effective service management. In the end, your new services, they need to fit with your existing environment. They need to fit in with your existing processes. They need to fit in with your existing like architectures. If not, well, again, it may become a very expensive solution. So we're looking for like the optimal solution. That's the idea. And if we can provide an optimal solution to our customers out there, well, in the end, they should become like happier customers. And if I have happier customers, then those customers can typically like provide better services to, for example, their customers. If I provide proper services to my own internal sales team, then my sales team will become more effective in selling, for example, our products, which will in return create more revenue and more profits and so on. Okay, so there's always a flow-on effect of like providing proper services. It also says improved information and decision making. Nowadays, it's like I sometimes refer to it as a knowledge economy. It's all about like capitalizing based on your like knowledge and information and that you've got available to you. And if there's no information, you can't make proper decisions. And if you can't make proper decisions, before you know it, you go out of business. So really, if I can capture the right knowledge and the right information, I can actually make like knowledgeable decisions, and therefore I can move on. And here's another practice what you preach exercise. The objective is understanding service design's value. You've ever thought of going on a world trip? So, what's the impact on risks and costs if you do or you don't do proper prior planning? Kind of think about like if you get involved in an accident overseas, or for example, you're traveling the world, and for whatever reason you're not allowed to do a certain country because you don't have the right visa in place, because you didn't plan for it, you didn't check it. Of course, the cost of all these things may be quite high because again you didn't cross all the T's and you didn't dot all the I's. And that's what service design again is all about. Yo, another sample question. Which one of the following is not a key benefit of service design? Answer A. Service design leads to unexpected and unforeseen expenditures. Answer B. Service design increases control of IT. Answer C. Service design aligns services to business needs and expectations. And answer D. Service design reduces risk and increases satisfaction. I'll give you a couple of seconds to think about the answer. Okay, the answer of course is answer A. And if you plan properly for your services, you should have less unexpected expenditures, okay, because you've planned properly for it. So you're wondering what the next topic is all about? Well, the next topic is all about accounting for the main goals and objectives of service transition. One of the other 5 ITIL volumes. Hey, live long and prosper, and see you later, alligator.